It is the story of Lancelot, a wandering swordsman who knew no fear.
God uses people like you, Lancelot. Tell me what you want, and it's yours.
And it is the story of Gwyn Live On. As Columbia Pictures presents First Night, an epic retelling of the timeless love triangle, starring Sean Connery as King Arthur, Richard Gere as Lancelot, Julie Ormond as Guinevere, and Ben Cross as Maleficent.
Cut. Good, print it.
First Night is produced and directed by Jerry Zucker, director of Ghost.
I want to see what one looks like at a fast walk. It's the stuff of fairy tales and what we were all brought up with, kings and queens. And there's a romance and a simplicity to it that is very alluring.
Your coming brings me a happiness I had not dared hope for. Arthur's in love for the first time, really, at a serious level of the one woman.
My lord mustn't think too highly of me, else I'm afraid he'll be disappointed.
You fear that too? Well, then I shall just take you as I find you, if you'll do as much for me.
What would attract Guinevere to Arthur is his stability, his knowledge, and he's strongly guided by morality.
Arthur wears his power so lightly, has such gentleness in his eyes. I've never known anyone like him, Oswald.
More smoke, guys. You cannot imagine anybody else but Sean Connery playing that role because he has that kind of commanding presence. Action!
Marry the king, Guinevere, but love the man.
I only know one way to love, my lord, and that is body and heart and soul.
I think she loves him, and with Sean playing the part, I don't think it's a problem.
I kissed the herd that brought me your love.
I'm very lucky that a Julia Ormond existed.
Sure, next time, please.
In a movie like this, if you don't understand why both men want her, the movie doesn't work. And there's no question about that.
Action.
When a woman loves two men, she must choose between them.
I choose you.
She's in love by her mind and duty to Arthur, but she's emotionally in love with Lancelot.
Don't move.
She was on a certain course. She is royalty. And this guy, as I said, is a traveling samurai. It's only in this kind of dream realm that people can make connections and take off their armor.
She's caught between someone she has a great attraction for and her obligation to fulfill the role of Queen of Camelot.
If there is any honor in you, promise me never to do that again.
I won't kiss you again till you ask me to.
And that I never will.
Lancelot's not really part of anything. He's on his own. No connections, no responsibilities.
Beat the gauntlet and meet our lovely queen! Not like that, idiot, no! Come and get padded up first! Oh, sure, next time, please.
You actually have to go through it incredibly slowly and carefully in order not to get caught out by it.
We had to design something that sort of looks medieval, but at the same time function and be mechanical. This is quite dangerous, this area. When you get here, these swords come up and they suddenly move to one side.
Amazingly enough, one stuntman and Richard could actually get through it. Richard is just great with all the physical stuff, really tremendously athletic. Great. And he's a terrific actor.
Lancelot is the first and only man to have run the gauntlet, come out the other side. Why is he so terrific? Because he has no fear, because he doesn't care if he lives or dies. Well, Lancelot, I don't believe I've ever seen such a display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, and stupidity.
King Arthur is a man who is far more mature than Lancelot. He's a great leader, he's a great father figure.
In serving each other, we become free.
That is the very heart of Camelot.
It's always powerful in a movie when one character knows the difference between right and wrong.
Either what we hold to be right and good and true is right and good and true for all mankind, or we're just another robber tribe.
Your fine words are talking you out of peace and into war.
Good, when it triumphs, has got to triumph over a very worthy adversary.
Malignant wants Camelot. He always has.
Know now that I am the law.
Well, he wants to rule the world, you know, like any arch-villain. Welcome to my palace.
Cut. Good. Ben, I'd like you to go into your trailer for about a half an hour and practice being mean, okay? In England, you find a lot of people who are mean, but they're more delicate mean, you know, with that kind of subtle, very well, if he does like that, we'll rip his ears off.
Action!
And Ben had this, it was just strong and visceral and scary.
Your quarters, my lady. No gates, no bars, no locks, just walls of air.
This is just a black, malevolent force.
Who are you?
A messenger from the king. It's darkness incarnate, and the only thing you can do is kill it.
If the water can get out, so can we.
There's something about the tales where they take the situations to an extreme.
Do what you want to do. Here. Now.
And the fact that Lancelot has saved her life opens up a door that as soon as it's open, she realizes that she must close it.
Please leave Camelot.
I want to be whatever you are.
You must not say such things to me.
I will leave Camelot now. If you come with me,
No.
then tell me you don't love me.
Big camera. Action.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancto.
Everybody get first, please.
Just take a beat and then just have them run as fast as they can.
Action!
All I can say is I hope when I'm 90 years old, I look like and think and act like John Gielgud. He loves to tell stories, and he loves to hear stories, too. If you have some good gossip, John wants to hear it.
Everybody clear?
Action.
How much time does it take to know your own heart?
Oh, I know what I want. I want to marry, and I want to live and die in Lyonesse.
Cut. Good. Print that.
Jerry Zucker assembled a talented artistic team to create the look of First Night, headed by John Box, a 4-time Academy Award winner for such films as Dr. Zhivago and Lawrence of Arabia. Box created 3 unique locations: Guinevere's Lyonesse, Maligan's Castle, and Arthur's Kingdom of Camelot.
It's critical for the audience to feel this sense of Camelot, the tradition of Camelot.
I told everybody, the production designers, the costume designers, all the way down the line, that I always wanted Camelot to look like a place that you'd want to go for a vacation. Cut.
Camelot is a new city built by Arthur. Lyonesse, on the other hand, Guinevere's town, is very old.
And that's when you're really given something by your art director, because you don't have to imagine it, it's just there. Lyonesse is lush and feminine and soft and green. And the slate mine is hard and sharp and edgy.
I need somebody for makeup down here, ASAP.
As said, no more corny castles. If we're going to Wales, there are slate pits here. Take Mulligan underground.
Going into the slate mine was like going into the darker side of somebody's mind.
Action!
When the film comes into this kind of subterranean cavern here, we've got all these medieval bikers, early historical Hells Angels. They're all kind of hanging out and doing manly things.
Here we go and roll sound.
Ready? Action.
You almost a queen.
I've cut. Friend. Check the gates.
I don't know that this was really the way things were back then.
Arise, Sir Launcelot.
A lot of the social customs of the day, they kind of exist today.
Brother to brother, yours in life and death.
But quite what lay behind them we've forgotten.
I swear to love and serve Guinevere, my true and rightful queen, and to protect her honor as my own.
It's not just chivalry, it's normal human exchange.
My lord honors me with his kindness.
In those days, it was very, very clear-cut.
Nothing shall ever harm you again.
I'm very old-fashioned, and I grew up to put ladies on a pedestal.
I'd like to think that both sexes could be chivalrous.
Maybe First Night will help to bring chivalry back.
Different time, different space, total dreamland. It's all invented.
And looking, yeah, over there.
This is the real fun of making movies, is to really have the resources and the talent around us to just dive in and play.
The costumes, the color of the costumes, the design of the costumes, the texture of the costumes, they could be Japanese, going back in time.
Jerry Zucker was in search of a very modern and very sharp and very clean line.
I said, Nana, design something that people could look at and say, boy, I wish they sold that stuff now.
All right, everybody clear? Ready?
And she really started first with colors before she ever really, figured out a specific dress or a knight's uniform.
This is the problem.
Here comes Lyonesse, which is more mother warmth feelings of colors. And then we have Camelot, which is the ideal city, all in sort of pastel colors, all very light and cut with blues. And this is a sort of starting idea for Malagant. And here we have some Lancelot and Guinevere. Lancelot as a vagabond, and this costume is going to be for 3/4 of the picture, actually. And we have Guinevere, who follows a process of colors through the picture, starting with the Lyonesse colors.
Being someone who, for most of their life, has gone around in trousers, they've quite enjoyed being a tomboy in a skirt.
Quiet, please. Everybody facing forward.
And with period, everything has to work. If the costumes don't work, it's going to throw off the art direction. If the sets are bad, it's going to make the costumes look bad. The attention to detail is amazing.
Cut.
And it's a huge crew. It's like a big army. It's like the battle the first night.
Richard with a sword routine. I mean, he was fighting 18 guys. He's a natural swordsman. He's got a natural awareness of where the sword is, and he's very fast.
129, take 1B, camera.
Action!
Well, obviously, we know these routines, but we work them up to a speed that if you lose your concentration, you are going to get hurt.
I've cut.
We got him with Bob Anderson, our expert sword master, and Bob just said, of all the actors I've worked with, no one handles a sword as well as Richard Gere. And Bob's been doing this for years.
I started with Errol Flynn. That was my favorite film, called The Master of Ballantrae. good sword play.
Be camera.
Now, can I give you some advice?
What's that?
Don't drop your sword.
Richard is more of a modern artist with the sword. He has the right balance and coordination.
God knows I was not good in the beginning. It was a lot of patience from Bob and a lot of hard work on both our parts. You have to get in a state with it where you're not thinking about anything else. It's just you and the blade, and what are you going to do? This other guy is going to kill you. I knew if I took this, I was going to have to be in shape. And I'm 45 years old, and I said, I'm getting too old to do these things. So I think this is it, folks. You're going to see the last swan song of Gear, the athlete.
Ends good, you know. Look at. I love that little look you did.
It would be wonderful to say, hey, it doesn't hurt and stuff, but actually it does. And then I go home and soak in my salt bath every night to ease my bruises and my aching bones.
Print that too, and let's do one with just mailing it now. These guys, in order to be knights in the movie, each one of them had to try to take me on in a fight.
Yeah.
They all failed, but these guys were the toughest of the lot, so...
The thing about it was he tied our hands behind our back.
Yeah.
We all had a month's pre-production before the film started of getting fit and sword fighting and horse riding.
Yeah, I mean, they're all fairly fit. I'm ashamed to say they're probably a lot fitter than some of our stunt boys.
I prepared for the role by doing a lot of fitness because it's a very physical part. It's more of a physical part than I've ever played before.
Cut. Good.
It was written in the script that she was going to go in a carriage to this battle, and she said, absolutely not. I'm going on a horse, and I'm in the front of the battle.
Juliet wouldn't hear of a stunt woman doing anything.
Shall I fetch a lady's saddle?
No need. I feel women have much more guts than is usually portrayed, and I love doing all the physical stuff.
We're trying to achieve coldness as best we can here in Wales, and we're actually doing a very good job of it. It's amazing how cold it actually will look on camera.
95, take 1A camera.
Wales is so untamed and so rugged. I feel it is what England and Great Britain looked like back in 1100s or 1200s.
Well, they have sort of banana in here.
Yeah, good, this is good.
As you can see, we're in this absolutely incredible countryside, and it's a really fitting backdrop because there's quite a suspicion that Arthur may have been Welsh. Some say he may have been Cornish, but certainly they think he did have a kingdom in the Welsh area.
I've cut.
For centuries, historians have debated the origins of King Arthur. But whether the great king ever existed or was merely the creation of poets and minstrels, the ideals of Camelot live on.
The round table. Yeah. No head, no foot. Everyone equal. Even the king.
I think the legend of King Arthur has lasted for so long because it deals with people doing what they feel they should do.
I never believed in anything before. I do believe in Camelot. Camelot is this community of angels, you know, that back you up and take care of you.
And where is it written, beyond Camelot, live lesser people?
Prosperity has become a goal, as opposed to being protective of people.
The great Arthur and his great dream.
What makes Camelot both very interesting but also very sad is the fact that, of course, it is unattained.
No dream lasts forever.
It is kind of a utopian ideal, for sure. It probably only can exist in the realm of dreams and drama.
Lancelot, I owe you a kiss.
I trusted you, loved you, and you betrayed me.
This feels very modern. In very contemporary movies I've done, certainly psychology is exactly the same.
There's a certain purity about it.
There is an Arthur, a Guinevere, a Lancelot in all of us. And that's why the tale speaks to everyone.